New subwoofer review and crash test. We fed 18 kilowatts into the Machete Super Sport. Translation and voiceover by BMA Russian. Hi there. Today we're going to tell you about our new subwoofer, the Machete Super Sport. Before we review it, let's have a look at the entire lineup and see what makes it special. The entry-level model used to be called the Magnum. It's probably the most popular subwoofer in Russia. They're all over the place. Now, moving along, we've released the Machete Sport. And at the top of the line, we have the Super Sport. This line of subwoofers has become quite diverse. We'll tell you about each one. The first one in this line was the Machete, which has a 2.5-inch coil, a 350-watt RMS rating, and a maximum power output of 1 kilowatt. These are probably among the most popular subwoofers on the market. I mean, we used to sell these by the thousands. It was followed by a line designated as Sport with a larger system of magnets, 2.75-inch coil instead of 2.5, and a bump in power from 350 to 750 watts. The peak power of this speaker is rated at a whopping 1.5 kilowatts. This year our company released the Machete Super Sport. This subwoofer boasts a more massive system of magnets as well as a larger coil, with diameter now increased to 3 inches. The RMS rating is 1300 watts, while peak power output is 2600 watts. It's equipped with more rigid plates and a stouter basket. In other words, each sub serves its own purpose. This here is the entry-level unit. This thing is a little more advanced, while the Machete Super Sport is a much more serious piece of kit. It's good not only for showing great results, but also if you're just into some thumping. We're going to install it into a car. Towards the middle of this review, you'll see what sort of flex can be made possible. We'll connect it to a 500 and set it to 0.5 in a display of what you really shouldn't be doing. Yeah, we'll connect it to a powerful amplifier. However, we will be using a 15-inch speaker. Anyway, that doesn't change anything. So yeah, we're gonna show you what they're capable of. We've already shown you what the Machete and the Machete Sport can do in previous videos. If you want to have a look, we did throw a Machete Sport into a Seat a while back. Back then, one 15-inch speaker was able to generate a result of 156 plus, while being fed 13 kilowatts by 2. 157.2. This is our fourth or fifth attempt, 157.2 at 10,712 watts. I used the 13-inch versions to pump out 156 on music. In total, 4 of these speakers. Good, we're looking really good. You've almost beat Stradivari, dude. But they used one subwoofer. It should be 600, but we didn't cut it. You can say this whole line of subwoofers is already legendary. Pretty much every user had them in their cars at some point, including beginners and those who are a bit more advanced. Lots of people have installed Sports, likely moving up to FXs afterwards. And now the new Super Sport model has been released, which means it's time for you to upgrade your system for the new season. Yeah, time for an upgrade. Here's a simple way of telling these subwoofers apart from each other. The key difference is in the logo up on top. This one doesn't have a designation, just the letter M. This one says Sport, and this one consequently says Super Sport. Now we get to the major differences. If we flip the speakers like so that the magnets face upwards, we see which one is which straight away. The magnet systems are completely different. So entry-level, mid-range, and top of the line. Today we're going to be reviewing the Super Sport, and what makes it special. This thing uses 190 grade magnetic rings, and like Artyom already said, it has a 3-inch coil. Moving along, this thing has a much more rigid basket. It's shaped pretty much the same, but the ribs are reinforced, and the basket's thickness has been drastically increased. The plates are attached using a pressure ring, so it's the same setup as on the more expensive line of Def Bonds products. Everything's bolted on, nice and tight, just like on the DEF Bonzes. Of course, we have some sprung wire terminals, and those are your differences right there. These are all completely separate subwoofers, which all fall into their respective price range, and which are aimed at their specific applications. Now we're going to take a 15-inch subwoofer and throw it into a car. We'll have a listen and see what it's capable of. Okay, so it's time to do some testing. The car is a Seat. This is going to be a competition-grade install, with 2 lithium battery sections. That'll be 2 monoblock units, each rated at 12 kilowatts. So yeah, these aren't the conditions in which you listen to music. But these are the exact conditions needed for torture testing subwoofers. You'll recognize the car from our previous test. In here we have a lucky charm in the garage. It's our cat. The cat's name is Avatar. I'm guessing you see why. It helps with our results quite significantly. We have a sensor on the glass. We'll be measuring output. Here's our laptop. This here is Vova Guskov. Anyway, let's have a look. Okay, 157.3 for our first attempt. The car locked itself. I can't get it open. Great, thank you. Here's the Machete Super Sport. There we go. The lighting isn't too great, but you can still see it anyway. Alright, so we just did a shakedown, and now we're gonna go maximum attack. Okay, second measurement. We'll keep an eye on the speaker, just to keep track of what it's up to. After that, we'll have a look at the result. Let her rip. Okay, we're good. That was our second try. Let's look at the numbers. 158.6. What? 18 kilowatts. The sensor just picked up 18 kilowatts. 158.6 is an awesome number. So the regular Sport gave us 157.2, while the Super Sport went all the way to 158.6. I'm gonna open the door and I'll ask you to turn it on for a bit, so that everyone sees that the subwoofer survived the test. Right, it locked itself again. The car's locked again. So we have base-activated automatic locking doors then. Here's the sub. Alright, so no cutaways. Let's just see how this thing works after eating 18 kilowatts. That's enough. It works. So there you have it. I think 158.6 is a pretty good number. So we don't want to torture and destroy the speaker in such a setup. And that means it's coming off. I'll tag it somehow so that you know that it's the exact same speaker. Do you have a marker, dude? Can you give me a marker? Anyway, we're gonna pull it out and connect it to a conventional audio system. It won't be efficient. What? A white one. We'll throw it into a normal car. We're not looking for efficiency. All we want to see is what happens. How the speaker is gonna work in your normal run-of-the-mill casing. Nothing special by any means. I mean, we just want to listen to some music. Okay, let's go. In order for everything to be verifiable, so that you don't accuse us of taking out this sub and installing a different unit, I'm going to mark the diffuser. Can you see me? Right. I'll draw an M right here. That's an M, okay? Okay, what sort of unique mark should I make so that you don't say that I put the same mark on a different subwoofer? Let me think. Any ideas? M. Testing complete. 158.6, right? dB. 158.6 decibels. That's with this here setup. And now we'll see what happens in a musical system. Okay, let's have another look at that writing, in order for you to be able to identify the subwoofer. Looks good. Alright, let's keep going. Here's our conventional system, in a very familiar Opel Astra. Its DefBonds speaker is very much accounted for, but we've disconnected it for the time being. Here's that very same Machete Supersport unit. Can you get a clear shot of the coil? Just so you see that it's literally in showroom condition. Even after 18 kilowatts, it's perfectly intact. Can you see that? You can see it pretty clearly. The subwoofer did get a bit roughed up, and now we'll just install it into this here box. Let's make it clear that this box is not fit for installing such a subwoofer, but you did ask for it. So let's listen to some tunes. I almost forgot to tell you. These speakers have coils which are 2 + 2 ohm, which means there will be one connection like on the Seat. That thing had 2 monoblocks and a 1 ohm bridge. By the way, all of our subwoofers have a certain peculiarity, in that all the mounting points are exactly the same. So there's no need for drilling any new holes if you're looking to upgrade to a newer subwoofer. There you go. You can mount it using the same holes. It fits just fine. Even DefBonds and Machete, despite being separate models, have the exact same mounting points. Everything fits perfectly.
Please don't test me. I'ma fuck the soul out that bitch and she gon' let me. My bitches ball out. They need SPs. I feel like.
Okay, so the sub is ready for action. You can say it's a true warrior, having gone through so much today. And it's yet to be tortured in this big volume enclosure. What with the roof right above it, and the side ports seriously constricted. If you're gonna do an install, don't do it like this. We specifically calculated the air volume right up to the roof. Anything this side of even a DefBonds 5500 can't show what it's capable of, due to the limited amount of space. Okay, let's start our music box testing. We've got everything calibrated. We figured out the frequency where our sub hits its peak in that box. That would be 29 Hz. We'll go with that. And here's the gauge itself. I'll set it to maximum, as in peak hold, and we'll see what we can achieve. Okay, we have a reading, 145.5, at a frequency of 29 Hz. That would be on the sinus. Tell us what you think in the comments. Is that okay or not really? I reckon, granted that this setup isn't ideal for this particular unit, and the setup itself isn't right for a car, I consider these to be pretty good numbers. The DefBonds pumps out about 148, 149, so almost 150 in this exact system. However, this setup was constructed with the latter in mind. The amplifier is a 1 ohm 5500 unit, so I think we probably fed it about 3 kilowatts during that last attempt. Let's listen to some music and see how much wind this thing generates. We have a piece of paper to show you what's happening. Everybody always complains that the camera doesn't pick up the flex. Indeed, when I review the footage, the picture doesn't show the full effect. So we'll try to get some sort of visualization. Alright, let's choose a track, shall we?
I've been dealing with it.
Can you go back there and show that we're not running the DefBonds? In case anyone complains, we'll let them know that we're rocking the Supersport. Can you see that we've got the Machete installed? Let's show the people how it wobbles in there. Just open the trunk and we'll go full open air. Anyway, that's enough torturing this subwoofer for one day. It's been through quite a lot. I mean, it survived 18 kilowatts of juice. It endured confinement in this here box while connected to a 5,500 amplifier. Anyways, so the sub survived. Let's have another look just to make sure that it's the same unit. There's all my writing right there. All of these tests were conducted, as you've probably noticed, during the course of a single day. It went through a whole series of tests in just one day. Anyway, we'll let you be the judges. That was a review of our new Machete Supersport subwoofer. We'll leave information and prices in the video description, so subscribe, hit the like button, and leave some comments. Perhaps we should conduct testing in a different manner. I mean, today we threw everything at it, including a competition-grade system, which you don't like for some reason, as well as conventional casing. Alright, cheers everyone!